Hi, this is Lena Rao with TechCrunch TV. We're here with co-founder and CEO Aaron Levie of Box.net. Thanks, Aaron, for joining us.
Thanks, Lena. How you doing?
Good, good. So we're here to talk about some of the news that you're announcing at your first ever customer conference, BoxWorks.
Yep.
And I know this is a big deal for you guys. Tell me a little bit about some of the product announcements that you're announcing. I know that one involves syncing, which is a huge sort of customer request. Can you explain a little bit more about that?
Yeah, so it's our first customer conference ever. It's called BoxWorks. We're drawing together hundreds of IT leaders from our customers and many of the business line leaders that have implemented Box in their organization. It's in San Francisco, so really exciting event. We have Third Eye Blind playing. Jeffrey
Wow.
Moore is going to be talking about a lot of the disruptive innovation going on. Tony Hsieh is going to be talking about delivering happiness. So just some pretty cool subjects that we're going to be talking about. And one of the key areas for us is really talking about this idea of the smarter enterprise and how we can build more innovative technology. And to get to this point where we have a smarter enterprise, you need to be able to be connected to your information from anywhere. You need to be able to work on any device. You need to be able to share with anyone. And a big part of that is being able to get your data to Box so you can collaborate and be able to share that information. So we're going to be announcing cross-platform sync, and it's our first cross-platform sync product. So we went back to the drawing board and we rebuilt a lot of our core PC sync engine. And so we have an all-new version of PC sync, and now for the first time we have Mac sync. So it's going to be able to plug into your computers. You're going to be able to sync that information up to the cloud. And that's going to be introduced to our business customers, and that's going to be rolling out throughout October and then throughout the rest of the year. And I think we'll have some pretty cool stuff happening next year around sync for all of our users.
Yeah, so tell me a little bit about sort of building this engine. How time intensive and sort of complicated was that?
Yeah, so we had to approach sync a little bit differently than some other companies that do this. So if you think about Microsoft, right, they never really solved this problem of we have all the software out there, we have many of the devices with our operating system, and you can't kind of sync the data together. And then Apple said, well, we'd like to go and solve this problem for our Apple customers, but that's really meant for consumers. So that's what the iCloud is going to be able to do. And if you think about organizations, the complexity is really in just the number of devices and number of platforms that people are using in organizations. So when we went and built Sync, we had to actually take that into account, that we're really building Sync that can fit into a business workflow. It needs to be able to be managed at scale. So for hundreds, thousands, or even tens of thousands of users in an organization, you need to have all the right security on top of that. And so just building that technology and building the kind of core engine to help solve that is a very difficult challenge, and that's why it's just coming out now.
Yeah, and so another area where you guys are also focusing on is social. And I know you guys have integrated a number of social features prior to this, but what's the next step that you guys are going to be announcing?
Yeah, so with the vision of building this smarter enterprise, the first step is how do you get your information into Box so you can work from anywhere and work on any device. And then the next step is really how do you make that content more powerful when it's on Box than when it's on any other system that you could be using. And so I think the first step of the innovation for cloud was bringing down cost and creating more efficiency. And the next innovation and the next sort of generation of technology actually lets you leverage that content, leverage that data, and create better business decisions, move projects through the pipeline faster. And to do that, we're adding a number of social capabilities on top of Box that are going to allow you to work faster, make better decisions, and be more connected with the people that are working on your content. So we're going to be talking about a bunch of things that are going to be rolling out over the next couple of quarters into the product that basically let you have a more personalized updates experience. So you'll be able to see the more active content and the active people that you're working with. We're going to be able to show better content relevancy. So when you're looking at a PowerPoint presentation and you want to see what other content is related to that, or as you want to create workflow in your Box and do that in a more social and informal way than traditional enterprise software, we're going to be working on a bunch of technology around that. So again, it's really baking social in to the core content management that is Box and making it so you can make better decisions and work much more quickly. And then second to that is once you have social within Box, how do you expose a lot of that content and a lot of those events to other platforms that your organization might be using, whether it's Drive, whether it's Yammer, whether it's email, whether it's Salesforce Chatter. So we want to be able to work with all of those systems, and we're going to be making an additional announcement with Salesforce Chatter at the event.
So basically, it sounds like you guys are going to be integrating into Salesforce Chatter. Is that correct?
Yeah, so this specific announcement is it's going to be the first of an evolving integration with Salesforce Chatter that's going to let you take content from Box, publish it out over to Chatter so people can look at it and work on it in that environment. And so again, you get sort of this synchronization between your content system that is becoming inherently social, and then your social kind of collaboration or social enterprise tool. And we obviously want to be able to do the same with any of the social platforms that are out there. And then this is just one of the additional integrations that we're making that we're very, very excited about.
Do you guys have a lot of crossover in your client base with Salesforce users?
Yeah, there's tremendous crossover. So we have over 100,000 businesses that are actively using the product. That's actually going to be one of our announcements at BoxWorks. We're in 77% of the Fortune 500. And so with that scale, there's just a tremendous amount of overlap with other leading cloud solutions. So a lot of overlap with Salesforce.com, certainly. A lot of overlap with Google Apps. There's beginning to be more and more overlap with other services like Yammer and Jive. And so we want to make sure that the data and content that you have in Box can be extended to the other environments in which you're working. And that's the whole value of being an open platform in the cloud.
Yeah, so Salesforce is actually another partner of yours in a different way. Why don't you tell us a little bit about the announcement, the funding announcement?
Yeah, so we're in the, it's not much of a secret, I guess, at this point that we're in the middle of sort of fundraise right now. You know, we saw a lot of success with Box in the enterprise in Q1 and Q2, and that led us to want to accelerate that growth. So we decided to bring on a little bit more capital into the business, and Salesforce is going to be announcing that they're also investing in that round. So we're pretty excited about that. Again, taking a pretty strong partnership that we already had with Salesforce around their core CRM, extending that to Chatter, and making that partnership even more meaningful and deeper.
That's great. And are the other investors just previous investors from Box?
There are other previous investors. There will be some new names that are coming out, some other additional kind of strategic partners that we're working with, and we'll be talking about that over the next couple of weeks, and we promise to tell you.
So Aaron, what exactly is this concept of the smarter enterprise? I know that everyone's sort of throwing around these new enterprise terms as
we're just trying to make things interesting. I'm sorry.
Right. As more companies are going to the cloud, you've mentioned there's a social enterprise, but what's the smarter enterprise? Yeah,
so the smarter enterprise certainly encapsulates a lot of the ideas of the social enterprise. We just think that ultimately the goal of all of the software is to make your business smarter, right? So you obviously need to be able to take the insights from people to make a smarter enterprise. You need to be able to take the insights and learnings and connectedness of your information and your content. So all of these things come together and allow businesses to move faster, make better decisions, work more quickly on projects and when they're collaborating in and outside their organization. And these are all sort of ideas that kind of come into the smarter enterprise. So the cloud is not just about how do we bring technology to market more cost effectively and faster and let you do projects online instead of on your desktop. That's the first sort of era of innovation. And the second one is really about taking that innovation of cloud computing and actually creating more intelligence around your information, connecting software together. So that's through our open platform. And helping people make better decisions through the insights that we can give them around their information. And that's sort of the reason why Procter & Gamble says, yeah, we want to deploy this to 18,000 users in our organization. It's not just that it's going to make them spend less on their IT, but it's actually going to help them move faster and build a more connected organization. And we think that's pretty powerful.
Yeah, so it sounds like definitely the connected organization is a part of that as well. And then, with that, the social features come in. Is that correct?
Yeah, so you have to have a social fabric. And I think that the challenge is most of our enterprise technology in sort of the past sort of eras or generations of software have been too stale. and they haven't really leveraged a lot of the things that people are doing on them, right? They sort of just treated people as just an input function for your information. And today we're actually leveraging the patterns and the things that people are doing with your content to let you have better intelligence and better visibility and make better decisions. And that's how you actually make this technology and make your business smarter, not just sort of social for the sake of social.